Welcome to my latest energy reports. I'm going to review the past month or so, showing where we've come from and also where we are at the moment, with perhaps a little insight into where we're headed to. The last energy report that I did was well received, and many people commented to say how much it resonated with them. So whilst I fully intended to do another one fairly soon after that, for those that know me, they know that unexpectedly I had major surgery at the end of June, and so that rather put energy reports on a back burner. It did, however, give me a period of solitude which almost 3 months later I'm just emerging from, and that enabled me to step back from the world and view what's been happening from a distance, as it were. So let's look at the recent past, July/August. And going past over the past month or two, the energy during July and August became quite intense and chaotic. In the UK, we had the aftermath of Brexit, heralding a great deal of uncertainty and change, and some division occurred throughout the country and indeed with family members as people made their choices over which way they wanted their future to go. From a spiritual perspective, this was a major event. It was an opportunity for the population as a whole in the UK to stand up for their sovereignty and freedom from the globalist mentality and control that influences the EU. From my own understanding of this event spiritually, it was very important in the breakthrough and the healing process of mankind on a global level. On the ground here, obviously, it wasn't an easy thing to do, and many who would not normally vote did, which in itself was quite an achievement. But like any healing process, the difficulties create strength. The old structures are broken down, and that leads us into new ways of being with new opportunities. So as these old structures come down, we have the opportunity to do things differently and expand into our newer way of being. And what we're seeing unfolding now in America is a very similar process. During the run-up to their election again, we're shown the energies at work right now, and they are indeed bringing up a lot of the darker energies that it's time to release in order to bring more light in. We certainly live in interesting times. There also seems to be a period in the recent past of opportunities arising to enable us to deal with the consequences of past decisions or actions, thoughts or feelings, always remembering, of course, that each inaction is an action too. Some of the consequences of this may have made life a little awkward or downright difficult for some, and this was most noticeable in relationships, either family, partners or friends, perhaps even business relationships too, as these energies swept through everything. So sometimes people say, well, how do we deal with the behaviour of others, especially those close to us, when it's hurtful or destructive? And my understanding is that the only way we can deal with this is to look at how we view their behaviour and why we view it like that, why that is. In light of that, we get insight into how we respond or react to that very same behaviour. Healing takes many forms, but usually it's a process of breaking down old structures, either voluntarily or otherwise, clearing the way for new things. And those of you who are healers will identify with what I'm saying here. I sometimes come across those that walk the path of light who feel that they've cleared all that they need, or that they somehow are not affected by the energies at play right now. And again, isn't this a belief that just needs to be let go so that they can become more of who they are? The inner process of healing and clearing never stops. And while some of us have thought that they've cleared all they could, during this past few months, and particularly during this time in September, we are yet again being shown where we can heal and become more whole. This ascension process can certainly feel a bit relentless at times when there's lots of stuff coming up for people. It should be remembered that when we're walking the path of light, it doesn't mean that you have to become someone or something that you're not. The path we walk is towards our own authenticity. It doesn't mean relationships that are difficult mean that we need to lie down and take whatever is thrown at us like land just because we're on a spiritual path. Healthy boundaries equal healthy relationships, And whilst practicing loving kindness is a must, remember we must also be loving and kind to ourselves. We need simply to establish what's right for us, where our boundaries lie, and how far we will go in engaging with those who are showing us where we need to heal. The shadow teachers, as I call them, are the ones who teach us by showing us what we don't want or what we shouldn't do. And they're often very difficult lessons, but they're usually invaluable, and ones we don't usually forget. On to talking more on a planetary level. I talked in my last energy update about the Earth moving through a new part of the cosmos, and while this might seem like purely a piece of scientific knowledge to some, the energies that are coming along with those changes can be quite intense. They are leading to major personal changes for some of us, as well as major planetary changes, but particularly for those who have done a lot of clearing. We're getting a lot of change coming into our lives. The changes on a world scale may affect us all further down the line. And 2016 generally has certainly been an intense year of change. The new planetary system that I talked about in my last energy report is getting closer, and as it approaches, so we're affected more and more by the energies it brings. Of course, this could also be what is affecting our strange weather systems, as our planet-jet stream is pushed and pulled by planetary bodies as they come forward. If you're interested in looking into the research that is ongoing with this, please take a look at the WSO channel on YouTube. And as with everything you read and watch, please use your discernment when researching all of the current situations that are ongoing on the Earth at this moment, as there is a lot of disinformation out there. The world governments seem to be at loggerheads as they try and find their way to their new positions. And this might look like bickering and squabbling amongst the powers that be, and would like to be, but in light of the battle between light and dark, it's indeed quite indicative of the rise of humanity's consciousness as we become more aware and more awake on a global scale and are rightly beginning to question what previously has gone unchallenged. For those of you who may find themselves intrigued and then entranced by the media portrayal of world events, please do remember to disconnect and clear yourself after watching quite the news, and remember that all is not as it seems. There are things unfolding in the background, things hidden from the public eye that are influencing and very much controlling what we're shown and what ultimately happens. In the recent past, I've become aware of patterns unfolding for most people, whether spiritual or not, involving being presented with situations or relationships that are showing very clearly where there is personal healing to be done. I've observed that people are being faced most often with the behaviour of others, and they find this disconcerting in some way. That may mean it brings up anger, pain, sadness, or frustration, or all of the above. And I myself, I haven't been immune to this process. I've had my own painful observations of what I perceive to be hurtful behaviour by those close to me. So, what can we do when we're faced with these situations is a question that I'm often asked. Firstly, we have to remember that we can't change the behaviour of others. All we can change is how we respond or react. When we can become aware that we're being shown areas within our makeup where we have the capacity and opportunity to change, we can begin to view the situation from a slightly different perspective, and as such ultimately let go of our preconceived ideas of what's right and wrong. When we resolve our own blocks and our inhibiting beliefs, we can come to a place of acceptance. Another influence recently has been the Mercury retrograde, and this past few weeks since August the 30th, we've been influenced by these often disruptive energies, which most often affect communication. And I'd say that this time it has been quite intense. I know a lot of people have had a lot of hiccups, more than usual. And normally I choose not to actively engage with that belief, but this time I've most definitely been affected by the communication glitches and mistakes, etc., that later I found out were during the retrograde period. Thankfully, we'll come out the other side, and for those who can't wait, it's on the 22nd of September, so not long to go now. Of course, there is a flip side to all this chaos and healing. As we've moved into September, it's been a month of happy surprises, and it seemed that some things have flowed very easily when previously we've either perceived or they have been more difficult. Certainly when I've called to the universe recently and said, how can we make this easy? Or what would it take for X to happen by X time? I've at times been astounded at the result, and other times happily thankful as the easy route unfolded in front of me. If you haven't tried using this questioning the universe technique, I suggest you give it a go and see what happens. This increase in our ability to manifest our reality quickly, I see as the healing process that we as a planet are going through, clearing out the old and making way for the new. And as we become clearer and clearer, we have fewer blocks that would slow or stop our manifestation desires. Our clearing is enabling us to manifest at an accelerated rate. Be sure to remember this though as you go about your day, and try to be aware enough to put out only the positive manifestations you wish to be part of your life experience. Of course, this is sometimes more difficult than you might think. And I've talked for more years than I care to recall about our thoughts creating our reality. But now, especially for those who have done a lot of clearing on themselves, we are creating reality almost instantly. The other thing is, it's almost a full moon tomorrow too, so a little reminder, this is a perfect time to do ceremony or to just sit quietly in your own way to release any thoughts, ideas or beliefs that no longer serve you in this amazing reality of ours. So moving forward, I asked Spirit a few weeks ago, when faced with so many diverse beliefs about future possibilities for this earth that are taking shape physically now and you can see it, which one will be the outcome? We're living in chaotic times with so many belief systems that appear to be gaining momentum and intensity and evidence of proof if it's needed. We have the new planetary system I've already mentioned entering our awareness, and varying opinions on the outcome of that, and there's growing evidence of this daily. We've got the New World Order, stroke Cabal, stroke Globalist, stroke Illuminati, whichever term you want to use, seemingly in its death throes, and the chess game that the global politics are playing is nigh on impossible to unravel. But please remember that we need to be peace and be harmony in order to create it. There's been strange solar activity captured on NASA's SDO camera, where the sun appeared to eclipse or to have gone dark for increasing periods of time over a period of days. And I'm not sure if this is still ongoing. Not the visible light that we see, but the ultraviolet light. Again, there are people researching stroke watching this as it continues to happen. It would appear that the jet stream has relocated to the south of the planet, and could this be connected with the planetary system coming in that's pulling or pushing our usual status quo? The push to disclosure continues, and the soft drip of leaks and whistleblowers are now gaining momentum. So it's good to see movement on that front as well. The answer from my guides to my question was, where do you want to be? Once again bringing me full circle to your thoughts and focus determine your reality. So moving forward, the energies would appear to be gathering pace, and the chaos energy and the opportunities to heal, I feel, will continue. So a few tips perhaps to help you move forward. First of all, please remember to be kind. The world would be a better place if we all practiced loving kindness more. We're all in different places on our paths, and are all dealing with different situations according to our need as to where and what we need to heal. We're not here to judge, we're all mirrors, and reflections we need to move forward are all around us. That might take a minute to think about, but once you've fathomed it, you'll know it's true. Please be gentle with yourself, and if you don't already, try to bring in 10 minutes silence or meditation into your day. Those quiet times when you can align with your higher self, ground and balance are crucial now and in the days ahead. Switch off the TV, no matter how compelling it is. That is, of course, for those reading or listening to this, if you still watch it. Having an awareness of what's causing you discomfort with relationships will help you to deal with it and release what you can. As always, I'm here if you'd like guidance from your guides and angels, some clarity or insight, or if you'd like help to heal or help with your ascension process. Until the next time, sending love and blessings into your world. Cam.